This is how digital cash can be insanely profitable without the price going up. This is a chart of the profitability of Dash Master nodes if we charge 1 US penny per transaction and the volume of transaction doubles every year until it hits Visa level. The cost of maintaining the server is taken out of this number. I tried to make this chart so that it would better illustrate the the rise and the relative value of the cost versus the income, and it just doesn't work because doubling is such a rapid rise. Um, the short version is yes, it's viable. It's not only viable, it is ridiculously profitable. And I'm going to switch over to my spreadsheet now so you can see the numbers I've worked with here. Um, this is the server cost. These have dropped a lot in recent times. Um, Over in the Bitcoin world, there have been a lot of arguments over time about the cost of running a node on the network. As the blockchain bloats and gets bigger, this cost goes up. Can volunteers pay for it? Do we have to keep the blockchain artificially small? Well, Dash pays its nodes, and anyone can be a part of a node. You can buy a share of a node with a very small amount of Dash. Um, and the cost of running that node is more than you can earn per node currently. It's kind of subsidized by the block reward. Well, what happens when the block reward goes away? I think this is something not a lot of projects have a really good answer for. But in the world of Dash, the answer is just do more transactions. Um, as you can see, the revenue from fees from transactions goes up a lot faster than the server costs go up. Now, these fees are denominated in dollars. So this isn't going to change when the price of Dash changes. The value of these block rewards will. This is based on today's Dash price of $25.40. So if Dash were to double in price, all of these numbers would double as well. But this chart, this sheet, assumes that the price of Dash doesn't change at all between now and 2046, that the transaction volume doubles, but the price stays the same. The market cap only grows by the coin emission, and Dash maybe doesn't even break back into the top 100. But there's still money to be made here. The income that each node can make for a relatively small cost, even when you get down to the really expensive, servers that would, at least in today's money, uh, be needed to host this data. Though I suspect, 20 years down the line, servers probably won't cost this much. But this is today's prices, so we are assuming no change in the price of Dash, no change in the cost of servers. Now, if you're doubling transaction volume every year and your profit's going up, I think it's a fair assumption that the price of the coin's going to go up as well from people buying that coin to get a piece of this profit. But let's say that doesn't happen. Nobody else buys Dash, the price doesn't go up. Price of servers doesn't go down. There is a gradual and eventually quite dramatic increase in the profitability of each one of these nodes. And by the time you hit that Visa scale, you're at $3.5 million profit per month. These are monthly numbers. That's a pretty astonishing amount of money. And this is the original use case of Bitcoin. And the thing that nobody's still doing with it. It's astonishing to me that no one has crunched the numbers and realized that digital cash can be profitable. And you really shouldn't have to do this math to do it. If you simply look at the cash flow of a company like Visa, um, that's coming from somewhere. Um, Divide it by transactions and see how much do you have to charge for a transaction to make that work. I just kind of made up 1 US penny per transaction. Uh, but it could be a little bit different than that. Let's say we want to serve microtransactions. You could keep it even lower, a tenth that, and do 10 times as many transactions. It'd up your server costs a little, but the relative value of that would still be very small. Um, there's an enormous potential here for a venture capitalist to come in, buy a whole bunch of nodes, and just let it go, help it go. Um, there's just there's just an enormous opportunity here, and it's not some hidden opportunity that requires a crazy new technology. You don't have to do something weird with NFTs or create a super elaborate smart contract. Not to say there isn't money in those things as well, but this works today. You can spend Dash today. If we are able to enable um, the spending of Dash, if we are able to get better merchant point of sale systems and get people onboarded and used to using it, this can be the reality, even without the price moving up. It's the usage of the coin. And this is a profit that pretty much anybody can jump in and share in, being a part of the network. Um, it we don't have to gamble on the price going up. We don't have to hope more people buy in after us. We just have to make the network useful. If we make the network useful, the network will be profitable. It's just math. Um, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to gamble on this happening, but I think it's something we need to realize. I think that we need to consider the value of the product rather than, I think, what most people in the cryptocurrency space are doing is they're betting on the hype of the product instead of the real world usability. What is the thing that people do? We know people spend money. Everybody needs to spend money, and there are some clear advantages to that money being cryptocurrency. I just don't think anyone has properly appreciated how this can scale in economic terms. Um, so I'm going to leave it at that. I spent a lot of time going through these numbers and comparing them in different ways, and there's a lot of different rabbit holes I could go down with this. If anyone has a specific interest in what kinds of things you would like to see compared, let me know. Do you want to know more about master nodes and how they work? Do you want to know more about how this compares to existing businesses? Um, you know, yeah, let me know. All right, thanks.